Welcome, my lovelies. Thank you again for watching. Hope you're all well and cheers. Okay, so I am working very hard for you guys and loving every second. I'm all in the middle of making literally 3 different videos at the same time, and I'm just doing a bit of one and a bit of another just to fit in so I can continually work every day. So this house is nearly finished. Part 4 will be coming up soon, but I am actually waiting on some more wallpaper being delivered because I'm going to do a 3rd room upstairs. I've discussed it with my client, and she's chosen something, and it's going to be absolutely lovely. While I'm waiting for that paper to arrive, things have been happening with the Wendy house, as we called it, for years. It's now called the workshop. Yay! So I am doing a video of that as well in between this video and the house video. So that will be up at some point. I don't actually know in which order these videos are going to appear. So maybe this will be the first one out of the 3. I don't know. Who knows? Who cares? While I'm waiting for paper to arrive through the post, I spoke to my client of the house, and just in a fit of madness in between everything else, I just thought one evening or one night in bed, as I always do my thinking then, I wondered if the lady would like, or the child that plays with it, would like a little doggy kennel to put in the garden, because the garden is bare. It wasn't requested, it's not part of our budget or whatever, but that doesn't matter. I just thought, you know what, I think a kennel would look fantastic. So I gave the lady the option to absolutely say no or yay. She said yay, so hurrah. So I'm not actually doing a tutorial because it's just I've never made one before, so I don't know exactly what it's going to look like. But I'm doing the video bits of it for you guys so you can see my trial, and hopefully not errors. If they are, they are. I'll just apologise to the client. At least it's not something that's paid for as such. It's just something I'm being me. I just want to add a bit more in for the hell of it. So what I have done is I got some of of our lovely friend in V Miniature, who was just on television on Channel 5 or My 5. I found out that you can actually get some programs throughout the internet on YouTube of the program that our Dollhouse friend here where we live was on TV. It was I showed it on one of my other videos, the advert for it. It was Susan Calman's Grand Day Out or Grand Day on the Beach. I can't remember, but if you look it up or see it on one of my other videos advertised, just look it up on YouTube, and eventually you'll be able to get this series. I don't know I think it may be series 3 they've filmed at the moment, but they did show where we live in Clacton, and they went into our friend's shop, which was great fun. She's actually had a lot of customers come in since then, so that was brilliant. People messaging and people coming from I think Coventry or somewhere across the country. They'd seen it on television and then drove across a day or 2 later just to come to the Doll's House shop. I diverse. So I've got lots and lots of wood, but I didn't have any 3mm strip wood, little bits like this, and anything bigger that was going to be too chunky. So anyway, I bought some wood from our friend, so I'm very grateful for that, and started building. I made the framework first of all, so I'll put a picture here as I'm telling you, and you can see the general layout that I made. Then I started cutting strips of wood. I got a couple of different I've got some mixed wood here, like narrow strips, and they're a little wider than I wanted, but I just overlapped them a little bit more. So I just mixed, they were slightly different wood, slightly different colour. Instead of using the same wood throughout, it probably won't show once it's painted. but I just thought it made it look more homemade, as if the owners of the house had made the dog kennel. We don't know, we'll see. So if I can show you now, that's the how far I've got. That's the inside of the kennels, or the sides of them, and that's what they look like at the moment on the outside. And as I say, I'm going to paint the whole thing, and that's the two ends, front and back, and that's the outside. These ones I just put more or less the same width of wood right across, and then once it was dry I turned it over and got a X-Acto knife and just cut it into shape. I filed all around the edges so they're nice and smooth now. So my next step is, I don't know, it's very sunny today and not even sure if I'm in view after saying all this. So my next step is really, I'm going to just start putting the kennel together. There are more pieces I want to glue on to finish it, obviously, but this is going to be the next stage. I'm going to have to do this by holding it, because if I show you, while I'm putting these together, I don't want them right on the edge of each other so it's flush and flat. I want the side walls to come out slightly, because I'm going to put a tiny thin 3mm piece of wood down in the corners, so I can't actually put that on a work surface and put it down all flat the same length. This needs to be up in the air, if you know what I mean. So I don't really know how I do that, so what I'm going to do is just put some glue on and hold it, and just hopefully it might not be exactly square, but then when I put the other bits together, I'm sure the whole thing will come together. It's a lovely sunny day today. Yesterday we had rain all day, and we were moving stuff into the workshop. As I say, I'm in the middle of doing that video as well. I've done some of it and I'll film the rest of it hopefully later today, and then that can go on and you can see how we've got on with the workshop. So excited about that. It's going to make a huge difference to my work. So I will just put these on by hand. I'll just get them flush on the inside so I know that's square, and it leaves a little gap, little corner sort of cut out on the outside, but as long as they're flush on the inside, that's okay. So I will literally do that just to hold it so it's square, then do the other side and then glue the side on, and that will hopefully square the whole thing up. And of course, when you've put glue on and there's anything, I know it won't show, it's on the inside, but anytime there's any glue coming out, just go along with a cocktail stick and just wipe it off on your hand, or a cloth if you don't like wiping glue on your hand, through the door. Right, there we are. So I'll just hold that and pause yourselves. You don't want to watch me sitting holding, although I could drink tea at the same time. I can multitask, guys, look. Although I can't hold this, drink tea and get the mail at the same time. One can only multitask so much. Right, okay, I'm going to carry on gluing these bits together and then I'll show you what else I'm doing. Okay, now, so, there we are. I'll show you the inside structure. It's quite substantial enough to make a doggy kennel. In fact, I suppose if you made it larger, you could make a shed and put a little door in the front. A happy little door. I say that with respect to Bob Ross. Right, this is it doesn't matter that these bits of wood are different colours because I'm painting it all now. That's obviously the front and the back. I've put the roof panels on as well. I'm going to paint it first of all because this will be a bit rougher here when I paint, and easier to do it while the roof isn't, the covering isn't on. And then I'm going to put on some roof felting to cover the roof, and then some fascia boards down each end, or front and back. So obviously I'm going to use the John Boy green, which, as you already know if you've looked at my videos, you can now get in your local B&Q store. If you go into the paint department and ask to look at the Wacky Wear profile and under that profile there'll be a colour called John Boy Green, and a colour called Suffolk Pink, and you can buy either and just buy them in these little test pots, and then they last forever. Well, not forever if you're painting big houses with them, but they still go a long way. So it's now just a relaxing moment. Now it's all put together. I think in total there is about 81, 82 separate pieces of wood that I have cut to make this. It's taken a little while, longer than I thought it would, but it's been fantastic fun throughout the whole journey. And depending on how it looks when it's finished, I may make 2 or 3 more, or maybe at people's requests. Who knows? Who cares? But yes, if anyone thinks this looks good enough for a doggy kennel and would like to purchase one, then I will definitely make more in the future, and either sell them privately or put them on my Etsy shop and sell them. I don't know yet, but at some point in the future I think I will make more of these, because I'm really pleased with them. It's lovely. So I'm just going to carry on paint. I'm not going to paint the roof, obviously. I'm going to cover the roof, but I will just paint the edges along the roof there, so everything is nice and tidy when it's finished. So there we are. So I'll just carry on and get it painted and then put the roofing felt on. Okay, so after the house has had a second coat of paint, I'm now putting on the roofing felt, which I'm using a fine grain, it's a 240 fine grain sandpaper, and I've just dry brushed it with some dark green. I'm using an opaque oxide there of chromium, but just something that looks mossy, mossy-ish. I suppose you could cover the whole roof in one piece, but just again, attention to detail, as I always love to say. Real roofs, like our garage roof outside and the workshop roof, the felting is put in layers. On that it's 3 layers. On here it will be 2 layers because it's just a small building. Oops. But that's all I'm doing at the moment. And then stick the other side on. I've just done it the same size as the roof because I'm going to put battens, front bits and back bits down the front there, and battens over the top as well, just like you would have on a real building. There we are, like that. And then the top one that's going to overlap those so the rain doesn't get in when it rains. You always put the lower ones on first, then the higher ones are on top of those, so there's no leaks. We don't want leaks in the doggy kennel. That would be just wrong for the poor little doggy. There we are. So I'm just folding that bit in half, and then I'll paint the paint. I'll put PV on the rest of the house and just overlapping onto the paper that I put on. Oh, I can hear someone going past playing music. I will pause for a minute. Right, there we are. So I've put the roof battens on, 6 of them altogether, to hold this down, and I've glued it obviously as well. And the back and front there, I've put some fascia boards as well, just to lift the colour of it and tie it in with the house basically. And then the last thing I'm doing is I've just got some Countryside Scenics grass and moss effect, and mixed it up with a little bit of PVA glue and water, just so it's just like a very thin paste. And then just for, oh sorry, and then I just painted on or dab it on here and there on the roof, and then we will let it dry and see what that looks like. Just some little dabs here and there. Okay, so ta-da! Here we have finally the finished little dog kennel. I'll just show you around the back there. As I say, I've just dabbed on some little bits of moss with the PVA and water, and then let that dry. So if you can see it properly, and little tiny little bits on the front there. The parents of the dog, the dog's owners or the owners of the dog have recently cleaned up the dog kennel, so there's not an awful lot of moss on it. But it's just starting to come back again, so it's just to give it that slightly used look. There we are. So they can you can put the doggy in it looking out, so you can put it down and put that straight on, or you can just have a doggy sitting outside curled up. But that's it finished. That was great fun to make. Took a little while, but it is, you know, it's a nice little construction. And as I said, I will make some more, maybe different colours. Maybe people would like something done in a different colour, one of these. But let's just pop it in the garden quickly, just to see it in situ. Okay, I think that looks really, really nice, and it goes really well with the house, the main house. As I say, it's got the John Boy green on it and white, so that goes with the house for the upstairs door, and the white woodwork. And I think that looks really, really, really nice. So just put a little extra into the garden to give it some another layer. There we are. And who's just come inside? Is Nigel. Hello, Nige. He hates that. Hates it. And he also said, well, I suggested maybe Nigel would like a little cat kennel for the garden. Would you like that? No, he says he has a kennel. It's called Your House. Hey, you just allow us to live here, don't you? Right, okay, let's put you back down there. Thank you very, very much for watching, folks. Are you going down? Yeah. Thank you again for watching, and I shall carry on and finish off another video that I'm in the middle of. As I said, I'm doing another 2 videos, so I shall get one of those finished and uploaded as soon as possible. Thank you again for watching, and speak to you again soon, and keep well, please. Bye all.